Alright guys, after a crazy weekend of football, here we are back to analyze all these big games. Bunch of close games, a couple upsets, and man, Justin, that was an awesome week.
Yeah, it was. You got 2 overtime games. Or was it 3? I don't remember.
I think it was just 2.
Yeah, it was just 2, but all over close.
There might have been 3, but the games that we're covering, I think there's just 2.
Yeah, I think it might be what it is.
Yeah.
But all the close games, only 3 of them were not within a touchdown. Only 3 of them was not within a touchdown. I mean,
in that Alabama-Georgia game, up to the last play, Georgia was still in it till the last play. That was a great game. Yes, horrible play calling, but bad play calling by Alabama to go to the prevent. But we'll get to Alabama here in a little bit. But, right now, let's go ahead and start out. Who do you want to start out with right now?
Big Ten championship game. Nebraska and Wisconsin. 70-34 Wisconsin.
And that's going to be our bonehead pick of the week. I cannot believe Wisconsin ran away with that game. Me and him both picked Nebraska, but come on. I know I've seen a little bit of spark from Wisconsin all year, but I thought Nebraska had it in the bag. Nebraska.
They had multiple overtime losses. They took out all their frustration from the year. Their record does not show how good they are. They took out all a bit of frustration from all the close games they've lost this year and took it out on Nebraska. Marty Ball rushed for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's insane. Nebraska, as we said, in a couple of years, they're going to be back up there with their own debate for the national championship game, and Wisconsin shuts them down like that. The only reason they got 34 points is because they put in second string.
But you see that one play by the starting quarterback in Nebraska? It was a 76-yard touchdown run by the quarterback. But yeah. It was like 128 yards. He ran across the field back and forth.
I know, that was insane. But, I still cannot believe that Wisconsin pulled that one off. But, good job, Wisconsin. Y'all came out, played an awesome game. And, props to y'all because we both had y'all as a big underdog on that one.
It is our third, so it's Wisconsin's 3rd straight Rose Bowl appearance, and they will be playing Stanford in that one.
That's the only game that neither one of us actually picked the right team. That's awesome. But, props to Wisconsin, but we're going to move on to, you want to move on to the MAC championship?
MAC championship game. We had 2 teams trying to compete for a BCS spot, hopefully. And right here, Kent State come out, jumped ahead 10-0. Then here comes NIU right back in it. And they got up to a 27?
I think 27, yeah.
27 to 13-point lead in the 4th quarter. And here comes Kent State right back, sent it to overtime. And then in overtime, it went to double overtime. Final score was 44-37 NIU.
And this guy picked it right. You said there was no hope for NIU, and this guy went and followed his heart, kept NIU, and won. That's 1 positive point for me, 0 for Justin so far.
And the thing about that game right there was, based on what happened for the rest of the week, NIU is going to the Orange Bowl. Come on now. Come on, give a clap to the MAC schools,
that's big for them. BCS berth right there.
For the MAC,
For the MAC especially, that's awesome for them.
You got to pull for the MAC against Florida State. You got to do it.
Speaking of Florida State, let's go to the Florida State game. Florida State jumps out to, a 14-0 lead, start out. Then Georgia Tech comes back, scores a touchdown. Florida State jumps out to a 21-7 lead. And right there at the end, Georgia Tech's driving back.
It's a
15-21. Got plenty of time to score the winning touchdown, go up by 1, and he throws the interception. Come on, guys. What happened to our triple option offense? That was going to win the game for me, get me another point, but no. Y'all got to blow it while not running not being y'all. And passing it.
Well, they had no timeouts left. I'm sure they had. He only completed 4 passes in that game.
Exactly. That's not them. They run the triple option so well. I don't understand why they would try to pass it. I mean, I understand they didn't have
left to go in the game. I mean, you got to get a lot of yards.
But I mean, they still could have made it down there with their triple option.
I do not think they could have.
Well, they were in prevent. They would have been able to run so far down the field.
I don't think it was in prevent either.
Florida State always goes to prevent.
Whatever.
With like 4 minutes
left.
What's
the point for me? So
that is a point for you. I'll give you that. Next, let's go to the
Conference USA Championship game.
Which one's that?
Central Florida and Tulsa.
Central Florida and Tulsa. Once again, I missed the game. I mean,
I watched that game.
I watched the game, but I mean, I can't believe
you missed asleep during the game.
I woke up for the last 20 minutes of it.
Yeah, the overtime part of it.
Exactly, the last 20 minutes. But I mean,
dude, I gotta give a shout out to that punt returner who run that punt back when the defender bat the ball, and if a defender touches the ball, it's a live ball, and if he would have fumbled it or not, they would have got the ball where he touched it at.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a smart play on his part. You got to give him a shout-out. I mean, there was a great, smart play on his part, and he ran it for a touchdown and sent the game to overtime. I mean, what can you say?
That's insane. I mean, and I had UCF picked all the way, but, I mean, that was an amazing game. I mean, I watched the highlights. I mean, of course, I was asleep during most of it. We stayed up till like, 6 o'clock that morning?
7.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wasn't getting up for a 12 o'clock game. But, I mean, yeah, UCF, I thought they were going to pull it off, but great job to Tulsa. I mean,
that's 2 points for Justin.
That's 2 points for you, but we still haven't finished. Let's go on to the Rutgers Louisville game. That game, I almost even called the score on that game.
Man,
but I mean,
was a touchdown away from getting the game right. I mean,
it was down to the score too. If they would not, at the end of that game, I cannot believe I was so rooting against both of the teams to get any extra points because I had the 17-14 called. But anyways, I mean, wonderful, great game. Rutgers jumps out to a 14-point lead, like within 4 minutes of the beginning of the game. Then Louisville holds them for basically most of the game, comes back.
Rutgers couldn't do nothing on offense.
I know. I mean, they had those two big plays. And then after that, I mean, Louisville, I mean, such an awesome game. Great game, especially to be something that you wouldn't even expect to be a good game, being such smaller schools. Wonderful game.
My question is, which team out of the Big East is going to the BCS bowl game? I mean, you got a three-way tie between Cincinnati, Louisville, and Rutgers. A three-way tie for the Big East Championship. Which one of them is going to go to the BCS bowl?
We'll find that out in a few minutes because we're about the BCS countdown is about to come on.
Yes, it is. All right. Now let's get to this Arkansas State Middle Tennessee State game. It's for the Sun Belt Championship, and Arkansas State won.
Yeah, we both called that one. I mean, Arkansas State with Michael Dyer. I mean, run the ball. I mean, he's Auburn player playing at a smaller stage. I mean, of course, he's going to be able to run the ball. Has an awesome game, and Arkansas State seals the blowout.
Now let's get to this Pac-12 championship game between Stanford and UCLA. It was a close, hard-fought game the whole time. Stanford had to lead 17-14 at halftime. Then UCLA got it up 24-17. Then Stanford comes back, ties it back with a touchdown, and kicks a field goal. And with a minute left to go, UCLA missed the game-time field goal, which gives that points to Corey.
Yes, I got the point on that one, and we didn't mention I got the point for Louisville Rutgers too.
Yeah, you said you called it, and I didn't remember.
Oh yeah, I did say that, but I just wanted to go ahead and make sure that's another point for this guy. But okay, next we got.
Let's talk about Big 12 football. Oklahoma TCU.
Oklahoma TCU. That's another point for me, by the way. But Oklahoma comes out, and as I said, TCU's defense has not shown me anything all year and a half.
Hey, Landry Jones did not play. Landry Jones not the reason. Landry Jones, it was because they could not stop the run.
Exactly.
But like that game right there, that game would have went to overtime if TCU did not have a holding penalty. If TCU did not have a holding penalty.
If. That's all I got to say. It's an if.
You was in the shower during the game. So you even missed that one.
No, I saw parts of that one.
No, he was asleep, then he went to the shower.
I saw part of that one.
Maybe. We don't remember.
Anyways, but yeah, another point for this guy. I mean, Oklahoma, as I said, shows up, takes out TCU. TCU really hasn't been in it since they lost to Boise State. I mean, and that was
2 years ago.
No, that was like 3 years ago, I thought.
It was 2.
No, it was 2. Yeah, it was the year that, no, 3, because it was 2009. It was whenever Florida had to play Cincinnati in the Sugar Bowl, and then TCU played Boise State. I forget which bowl that was. I think it was the Cotton Bowl.
No, it was a BCS Bowl. It had to be the Fiesta or Orange Bowl. One of the two. It was the BCS Bowl game. It was the Orange, I think.
Yeah,
no,
it might have been the
Fiesta.
No, Fiesta is always an SEC. No, there couldn't have been an SEC team in that one. I forgot. So, yeah, it was probably the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, but no, Big 12. Oh, well, whatever.
It's like Big 12 and SEC usually play in that one.
No, Big 12 never plays the SEC in a BCS Bowl game. It's always Big 12 at large, SEC at large. I don't know why it's like that. It should be Big 12, SEC. I mean, there wouldn't be much competition anyway. I mean,
I would still like to see the games just because that would, instead of like what they're saying now, they're going to have a Clemson versus SEC game. I mean, that's just retarded. We've already seen Clemson play SEC games. Why don't we have some diversity?
Hey, they did beat Auburn, the worst team in the SEC, or Kentucky. We're still working on that debate.
Yeah, we still need that whole game. But anyways, y'all can watch that video too, by the way. But, I mean, Clemson, I mean, if they beat South Carolina.
Clemson...
No, they didn't.
No,
they lost to South Carolina.
South Carolina beat the fire out of them. What are you talking about?
Oh, no, I'm thinking of like last year or something.
But think about it. Before Spurrier got there...
I mean, they were a horrible team. Don't get me wrong. South Carolina's an amazing team. But, I mean, before Spurrier got there, I mean, they were ran down.
That was an easy win for Clemson every year. That was a guaranteed win.
I know. The object of... They were like pretty much what Kentucky's always been taught. Play not to lose. They don't play to win. They just play not to lose, and that's their big fault. They never, but now that Spurrier's there, they play to win. They come out, they score, they pass it, they run it. Whatever they got to do, they win the games.
Yeah, but that's like LSU and Saban. When Saban got to LSU was like the Mississippi teams in the SEC.
Yeah, exactly.
And he built them up, and the only reason Les Miles, I mean, he is a good coach, but I don't think he could have built a program like Saban did.
Yeah, exactly. He's still off the surge of what Saban built.
Yeah, I mean, that's all Saban. I mean, you still got to give credit for Saban for a spot LSU's in now.
Exactly.
And they still hate his guts, but, I mean, Alabama fans love him.
All right. Well, let's go to the Kansas State-Texas game. Once again, me and Justin both called that one. Kansas State pulls off a nice victory, 42-24. Kansas State wins that's Big 10, isn't it?
Big 12.
Big 12. I get so confused with those.
Yeah, because
they keep changing.
No, they got 10 teams, and it's called the Big 12. The Big 10 has 12 teams.
Okay.
What's up
with
that?
Yeah, Kansas State, Big 12, clinches the
share of it.
They get the BCS berth, though, because they got the tiebreaker.
And Colin Klein had a stamp on his last game at home.
Yeah, but he still is not in it for the Heisman. I'm sorry.
He sealed his trip to go to New York.
Yes, he did.
I mean, that's where he done it. He sealed his trip to New York. I mean, but here's the thing about it. This is the only thing about Johnny Manziel. It's going to hurt Johnny.
He did not play this past week.
That, and not only that, Colin Klein's going to a BCS bowl. Guess who ain't? Johnny Manziel is not. They lost 2 games.
No, it's not Johnny Manziel's fault, really, because there's so many teams in the SEC that are so high up there. I mean, and plus, Alabama's going to the national championship, so that only leaves 1 bowl for an SEC team to go to.
Florida, because Florida beat Texas A&M, which is fair.
Exactly.
But Georgia should go to the Sugar Bowl instead of Florida since they beat Florida.
Exactly. I believe it should be that way. But since Georgia has that extra loss, they're going to be dropped down, which I don't like. I mean, whenever you lose to
the number 2 team in the nation,
whenever 3 loses to 2, I believe they should stay where they are because, I mean, of course, they're supposed to lose to them.
No, they're not. I mean, it's going to be a good game, and it was a great game.
Wonderful game. But, I mean, I still say that they should stay where they are because number 3 is supposed to lose to number 2 statistically wise. All right, guys, next up we got the Alabama game. Great game all the way down to the last minute. I mean, couldn't ask for a better SEC championship. What do you think about that, Justin?
I mean, it was a great game. I mean, seriously, when you got two top-ranked teams like that, it was a bona fide playoff game, simply. I mean,
yeah, I mean, very much so. I mean, that's future playoffs right there in the works. I mean, which most SEC games are that. Most SEC championship games are that way.
Pretty much.
I mean, you look at Alabama, Florida, number 1 versus number 2.
Back-to-back years.
What?
Back-to-back years, too.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Then you got, I mean, not really with Auburn and South Carolina, but I mean, LSU and Georgia somewhat.
No, really, because
well, I mean, Georgia had only lost 1 game at that point.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
They only lost 1 game by that point.
Oh,
but then,
Florida.
yeah. But then, no, they lost to Boise State.
Ooh.
That was their one. That was the only bad thing. They lost to Boise State at the very beginning of the year. And then, but then this year, Alabama, Georgia, 2 versus number 3. I mean, great game. Georgia came out firing first, got the first real quick touchdown. Then went to go kick the field goal, missed the field goal. Then stayed that way till about 4 minutes left till halftime.
And Bama pounded the ball all game long. I mean, they rushed for over 350 yards.
That's how they scored their first touchdown. Ran the ball, did a little pass, and got in the end zone. Eddie Lacy scores, go 7-7. Right before the end of the half, Alabama kicks the field goal to make it a 10-7 game.
But Alabama messed up. Nick Saban admits it was his fault that he should have called the timeouts. They went to halftime with 2 timeouts. I mean, what for that?
They would have had 28 seconds on like the 5-yard line.
I mean, it would have been like 14. Well, actually,
it would have.
They would have added 14 to the 5, which would have been 19 seconds.
No,
seconds.
They had 14 seconds that ran off. There was 14 seconds left. They would have doubled their time. It would have been 28
Yeah, but after
seconds.
that play that got them to the 5-yard line, it was 5 seconds left.
Exactly. Would have added 14 extra seconds.
19 seconds.
Exactly. I mean, would have been plenty of extra time to call at least 2 more plays and then kick the field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they could have gone up there. They don't. They go up by 3. We come back out. Georgia comes back out swinging, goes down and scores. Then we got
a blocked field goal, run back all the way right after that.
Yeah. You got Georgia 14 to Alabama's 10. Georgia runs back the
blocked
field goal. It goes up 21-10. Alabama comes back next drive, runs down the field.
TJ Yeldon gets in the end zone, freshman. And then, guess what? They handed the ball again off for a 2-point conversion, which made it 18-21 at that point.
Then Alabama comes back and scores again to take the lead. At that point, it was
25-21.
25-21. Georgia comes back, scores, makes it 28-25. Alabama, with about 3 minutes left, gets the ball, runs down, scores.
Yeah. And what works is they run the ball all game, then they run a play-action pass. Everybody, Amari Cooper.
Exactly. Everybody bites on that play action, thinks it's run again, gets the bomb, touchdown Alabama. Then it's 32-28.
32-28, and that's the final score.
32-28, but Georgia gets held to 3 and out to start with, kicks the ball off to Alabama. Bama runs a 3 and out, punts it back. Alabama, unfortunately, goes to the prevent defense. If they went to the prevent defense, it wouldn't have been as close as it was. But they go prevent defense. Georgia starts driving down the field, throws that almost interception. If he would have caught it with his hands, it would have been an interception, but he tried to body catch it, hits the ground, keeps Georgia's drive alive. They keep going, get down to the 7-yard line, 14 seconds left. Don't spike the ball. They go for the play. Ball gets tipped, catch the ball, get tackled on like the 3, right? 3 or 2?
6 or 7, really.
All right. Get tackled. Game over. Amazing SEC championship.
Give your props to Georgia on that. Georgia played a great game, but
the best game of the year, really. I mean, slugfest throughout.
Yeah, but somebody's name you did not hear but that one play, that 1 second on McElroy, but AJ McCarron, the only play Jarvis Jones made was that one fumble he forced.
That's very true.
They run at him the whole game.
I mean, that was the best choice they could have. Yeah, exactly. You think you can stop us? I'm coming right at you.
Who was your MVP for the game?
MVP? It's hard to choose. I mean, you got Yeldon and you got Lacey. Both of those two guys ran amazingly.
But what
about Cooper? That's what I was about to say. Cooper got several big catches. The one to win the game. I mean,
I say my MVP is Alabama's offensive line.
That's my MVP. I will give you that. Barrett Jones and
the whole other four. Fluker, Steen, Kawanja.
I mean, just all of them. Awesome playing by these guys. I mean, especially they didn't have that hot of a first half. At the very end of the first half, come out, and they able to have that awesome drive. Beginning of the second half, they didn't look too hot, but then halfway through the third quarter, they come out and they're hot. I mean, blocking every single thing, getting basically 10 yards per carry. I mean, great game plan, great playing by Alabama's front five.
I mean, that was smart on Georgia to run the no huddle most of the game.
I mean, it unsettles the defense, makes them more tired. I mean, that was one of the main reasons they're sitting there able to score.
I mean, but you gotta give. I think Georgia's MVP would have to be Gurley, the running back.
Yeah, Gurley was.
That's Georgia's MVP
awesome
for the game. I mean, Georgia's defense nobody on that deserves the MVP after allowing 350 yards rushing. I mean,
they couldn't stop it. I mean, they kept basically saying, "All right, we're gonna run it. Try and stop us."
Okay, they claim to have 9 players that's going to be drafted in the NFL draft, but they cannot stop the run.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They've got a bunch of great players, but I mean,
they just couldn't stop the run.
They weren't able to show up yesterday. I mean, yeah, they held them somewhat. Like they were there in the first half, and they were there in the beginning of the second half. But after that, they were gone. I mean, after that, they'd ran so many plays against them, they were so tired, they were done.
I mean, that there was the most physical football game I've seen all year long.
I mean, in years' time. I mean,
what do you think about that?
Except for LSU and Alabama last year was a really good game.
Both
physical.
Both of them were.
Yeah. Well, not the national championship.
The score didn't show up, but that's still a very physical football game.
It was a very physical football game, but Alabama dominated that game.
But I was going to ask you, what do you think about that hit right when Aaron Murray threw an interception?
Okay, that was complete bull. I mean, the dude, I say, actually should get suspended for that. I mean,
it was a legal hit. It was a legal hit.
He was walking towards the play where the dude had the ball.
I mean, it's a legal block is what I say.
It was a legal block, essentially, but you don't do that to a quarterback who's not even running towards the play. He's trotting off the field. It's a free shot,
and it's a legal free shot.
It's complete bull. I mean, you don't hit a quarterback like that.
I mean, honestly, I think everybody, you might disagree with it, but that was a clean, legal shot.
It was a legal shot. I understand why they didn't flag it. But it's still complete bull that you would do that. I mean, that's not classy at all.
I mean, honestly, if you see a chance to throw a block, he might want to have impact on the play somehow if he didn't throw the block. Who knows?
He was trotting off the field. He wasn't even running towards the play. He was just like, man, I threw an interception. Crap. Walking off the field. And then last second, you see his eyes get huge. And then he looks to the side and goes, boom!
That was smart on his part.
No, it was not. That was not classy at all. I hate that play.
I think it was a fair play because it's legal, and so you really can't complain about it. That's the way I'm viewing it.
I still say it's
if it's legal. If it's legal to do it, do what you do. Do anything within the rule book.
Yeah, but you don't hit him that hard. I mean, he's not doing anything. You just come up and basically do this. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, but imagine
you don't run full speed as a 300-pound man and knock the dog crap out of him. And, that's complete bull.
I want to ask you about
that's just trying to hurt him.
Okay, whenever you see a quarterback hit those interceptions doing that, you know what happens? All those defensive linemen, their eyes light up, won't wait for that crapback lick on him.
I know, but
every defensive player thinks like that. I mean, you can't just blame it's Quentin Dallas clashing. No, all defensive players think like that. If they get a free shot on that quarterback, every defensive player, 95% of them are going to take it. Okay,
yeah, but it's still
that's the point I'm trying to make there.
I'm just saying, Alabama class completely says don't do it. Alabama's
clash, right? But when you think about it,
I mean, I understand he wants that shot. But get it while he has the football. Don't get it on a cheap shot.
I mean, well, they couldn't get to him.
I mean, exactly. And he gets the cheap shot, which is complete bull. I don't like it. I'm done with the discussion. First. We're both disagreeing. We're going to agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
Whatever. Anyways, well, that basically wraps up our show, guys. We'll be having some more our not bowl projection, actually the bowl announcement, and then project victories on that, project scores somewhat, not really call scores exactly. I mean, we're not worried about that. But, I mean, going to have all that, going to have our BCS National Championship video up for y'all. Then we're also going to have our BCS Bowl games up for y'all. And then also do a video on the Heisman because it releases here in about a week.
The Heisman's going to be announced Saturday night. It's going to be in New York City. It's going to be on ESPN. Y'all should check it out. I mean, our pick is Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel, exactly. I mean, it's pretty much wrapped up. Johnny Manziel's got it. Even though he didn't play last week and Colin Klein had such an amazing game, I still say Colin Klein's out of it.
He's still going to New York, though.
He's still going to New York. He clinched his New York trip.
But who's your top 5 to go to New York?
Top 5 to go to New York, I'd say Manti Te'o, Johnny Manziel, Colin Klein,
Marquise
Lee, and Braxton Miller, I guess.
Braxton Miller. Okay, that's my 5, but it ain't the same order.
Same order. That wasn't my. I mean, the top 3 were, except for Manziel's at front.
Well, y'all, follow us on Twitter at The Sports Room.
Then like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Backwoods Sports Room. And then check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Backwoods Sports Room.
Yes.